Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Have you ever felt like things are changing in your life? Like you just have this sensation, like you know that there might be just a shift in your energy. Maybe you're feeling a little bit more peaceful. Random people that you don't know are coming up to you, talking to you and asking you questions or making fun jokes with you, just trying to goof off. Or maybe you just start noticing some opportunities kind of aligning, things that you didn't expect to happen or starting to happen. Well, there's different stages that we go through in life, and those stages are called seasons. So just like we have real seasons, winter, summer, fall, autumn, some of you in Florida, just like me, may not know what autumn and fall are, and I totally understand that, but we still have spring and we have summer. These seasons change with the temperature, the festivities, and everything shifts when there's a new season. Well, just like those seasons, we go through seasons in our own lives as well. So what do those seasons look like? How do you know that you're in a different season? And what things happen to make you realize that these seasons are starting to evolve and manifest in your life? Well, I'm here to tell you that there are about 5 different things that you can look for, and we're going to dive into them right now. Okay, so the first thing that you can recognize, and it's going to be pretty easy because you're going to feel it pretty intensely, is when things start to feel uncomfortable that used to feel comfortable to you, like things that you enjoy doing, whether it may be a sport or friends you used to hang out with, or activities like maybe playing video games or watching TV till late in the morning, maybe waking up later in the morning. For some of you, you have these certain habits or routines, but you start noticing that those routines don't feel good anymore, and you start naturally trying to gravitate towards something that is different, something that feels a little bit better. So personally in my own life, what I noticed is that I used to stay up really late, and I used to like doing a lot of the stuff that I'm doing right now with the videos, and I do a lot of film evaluation with football and trying to also write another children's book. I used to stay up really late to do these things. I used to wait till my wife and my stepdaughter would go to bed and I'd have my time in order to get those done. Now I don't like it. Like I can tell there is a shift because when I stay up late, it doesn't feel right. I don't like the way I feel in the morning. I used to be able to tolerate it, but it doesn't feel natural to me. Like what feels more natural is actually getting a good night's sleep, going to bed at a decent time, waking up in the morning where I feel refreshed. I have come to the idea that when I get home, I spend some time with the fam, but then I'm right in here and I'm doing these videos, or I'm doing film eval, or I'm doing what needs to get done before the normal routine, which was sitting down on the couch, watching SportsCenter, or maybe catching up on a show, or whatever it may be. Things that were, distractions, quite honestly. And I think that's, part of what will happen when you feel this shift. There's like a discomfort level where you just don't like the normal routine anymore and you're looking for something different. That's when you know that there is a shift in a season or a shift in your energy, because you will start feeling like a different person. Like you want to do different things, like sitting down to play a video game for a couple of hours doesn't feel the same. You almost feel like, it's just feels like a waste of time, and it's stopping you from doing something else that could be more productive, something that is going to allow you to hit the goals that you need in order to have your dream life. The second thing is doors start kind of closing. In regards to what we just spoke about, where your normal habits don't feel right and you start creating new and better habits per se, same thing happens with maybe some of the people that you hang out with. Doors start to close while new ones start to open. And the people in your life that were a part of who you were at that time, when you hang out with them, it just doesn't feel the same. As a matter of fact, you start recognizing things that you just don't like, maybe don't respect, or maybe you just realize that the normal things that you were doing, maybe it was going out to the bar, it just doesn't excite you anymore. It doesn't feel good. It just feels like a waste of time. You'd rather be doing something else. And even when you're sitting there having the same old conversation, you realize that just how much people complain. And maybe those people that you've been around, you never noticed it before, but because your energy is shifting and you're shifting into a new season of your life, you start focusing and realizing like, wow, these people complain a lot. Wow, I didn't realize how unhappy they really are. Wow, I didn't realize, I was kind of going down the same unhappy road as they are, because you've heard it before. You are who you hang out with, and the environment that you're in can create a little bit of the person that you become to be. So it's not a bad thing. You'll start noticing that doors in your life will start closing. Opportunities that looked like really good for you and you were really excited about, they don't seem as good. Like you actually have different aspirations of something even greater than whatever it was that you thought was going to be good for you at that point in time. So doors start to close so others can open. And those doors that open are leading you toward a better life. And you need to change and become the person you need to be in order to go through that door, because that door is only meant for a certain person, someone who's starting to change to become the person they need to be for what is on the other side or through that door, if that makes sense. Okay, third thing is like you start seeing interruptions in your life. And that's not a bad thing. It's actually a good thing. We like to maintain control of our own plan and our own destiny and the outcomes of, what we want to happen. But ultimately, that's not exactly how things are going to take place. See, when you try to control the outcome, you lose what is part of what is important in the journey. The journey is what's important, not the outcome. Having that control of the outcome will stop you from allowing other opportunities to evolve that might be better for you, but you're so focused on what you think the outcome should be for a certain situation that you're missing opportunities that might be coming into your path that could be better than what your plan even is. And that's how God works. His plan is always better than what we think we are going to accomplish. The purpose is what's important. The plan for the purpose is what's important. And the journey to become the person you need to be in order to execute that purpose is vital. So if you're so focused on the endpoint, you're so focused on maintaining control of what your vision is and the way you think things are supposed to evolve, you're going to miss the big picture, because the big picture is what you turn out to be. The education and the knowledge that you gain along the journey and the different people that you meet, the challenges you face, the difficulties that you have to overcome, the adversities that you have to overcome, those are all going to help you evolve into the person that is absolutely necessary for what could be greater down the road for the plan and the purpose that God has for you. So don't focus on the end so much. Relinquish the control. If you are trying to control a situation, you are missing other opportunities that are trying to knock on that door. You're just not going to be available to open it because you're so tractor beam on what you want to accomplish. Now that's sign number 3. We kind of talked about it a little bit before, when doors are closing so new ones can open, but those new doors are what's going to be really exciting. And you're going to start realizing that new people are going to start coming into your life. People that have a knowledge base or a skill base or something to offer you that is going to help you along the journey towards your purpose. People that you didn't even expect are going to email you out of absolutely nowhere or text you out of absolutely nowhere, or your paths are going to align perfectly. So you end up meeting somebody, and the next thing you know, there is something there that they're able to help you with along the way toward what it is you are trying to accomplish, or what it is you need in your new season of life. Because we all need mentors. We can't do this life alone. As a matter of fact, we are not designed to do this life alone. We are designed to do this life together. A community of people is much greater, a group of minds is much greater at accomplishing something than just one person or one mind. So it's important that you have other resources and other mentors and other people helping you along the way, and you will become that person for somebody else as well. And that's where the synchronicities are so important, and they're kind of awesome, because then you realize that anything is absolutely possible, and you'll start knowing that you are on the right path, because the opportunities and these synchronicities are just too perfect. These people that are coming in your life that have what you need in order to accomplish your next step in your season is just too perfect. So there's no mistakes here. God does not make mistakes. So these people are coming into your life for a reason. Do not ignore them. Do not push them away. Do not allow your fear of being uncomfortable stop you from engaging with these people, because they are there to serve a purpose. And so do not push it away, embrace it, because it is going to help you toward the next step in your season of getting the life that you are trying to accomplish. The next step is you'll start seeing visions of things. You'll start, and not in a crazy magical way, you'll start allowing yourself to kind of embrace the idea that things are going to start getting downloaded. And I talk about this all the time. I talked about my last episode when I had the ideas of writing a children's book just because I saw some squirrels running around my front yard. You'll start pinpointing these little synchronicities. You'll start pinpointing that there are certain things that are happening that are allowing you to see a certain vision of something that maybe you're supposed to create, or maybe it's supposed to set you on a certain path toward a new creation. And again, in my last episode, I talked about inspired action. You'll start taking inspired action. You'll start moving toward the steps of this vision or of this idea or of this invention per se that you are looking to create because it feels so natural to you. You start taking that inspired action. It's not going to feel like work. It's not going to feel difficult. As a matter of fact, you'll be thinking about it so much you honestly can't wait to get home and start learning more about it or figuring out ways to create it. You just start naturally flowing toward it. And that is not a mistake. That is absolutely something that will happen. And embrace it and allow yourself the quietness. That's where a lot of breath work and meditation comes in, because the more silent you allow yourself to be in these particular moments, the more the clarity of the vision that will form. And the next thing you know, that you'll start seeing the steps that you need to take in order to actually create whatever it is that is put in your path. So these little synchronicities are extremely important. Again, God has an absolute purpose for the downloads that you get with these visions and the ideas. Embrace them, use them, and just like I said in the last episode, take that inspired action, because if you don't, you're holding yourself back from getting into a season of the life toward the life that you are desiring. This last one is a big one, and it's one I think that we fall shy of a lot. But it's so vital, and that is faith. And with that faith, what I mean by that is you start having faith that outcomes are not going to be as difficult as you might have expected. You stop thinking about all the things that could absolutely go wrong. You stop thinking about allowing yourself to believe all these stories that your brain is telling you of, this could happen and this could go wrong and you could lose everything. And if you do this, this will happen. And, whatever it may be, all the loss that could take place, all the financial insecurities that could happen, you start actually just going into it a lot more relaxed, and you don't allow those negative thoughts to take over your mind. And honestly, our brains naturally go to these bad thoughts, these negative thoughts, these stories that are absolutely not true. So if you're going to tell yourself a story, why not allow yourself to stop that bad story and that bad thought and the one that's telling you that everything can go wrong, and reverse it and start telling yourself that everything's going to be fine. God's got my back. The outcome is going to be great. I'm going to go into this and I'm going to accomplish this. Everything always works out for me. You can tell yourself that same story. The problem is we just don't have a default setting that allows us to think that way first. At first, our brains try to keep us safe, and it tells us stories of fearful things because it doesn't want us going into something that is going to be outside of our control or cause us harm. And that's okay. Embrace those thoughts, but don't allow those thoughts to ruin the next step that you take. Embrace them, acknowledge them, but then reverse them and start thinking the positive, confident thoughts that you are going to accomplish whatever it is that's in front of you, because you have the faith and the knowledge to know that it's going to all work out no matter what. And it does. Think about it. A lot of times that you go into something that you're scared of or you're nervous about, you've actually allowed yourself to overthink it, and it's so much worse than your mind than it actually ends up being. Even if you didn't remove those negative thoughts, the outcome is never as bad as you made it out to be. Like for me, I used to really get really stressed going to parties because I'm slightly an introvert, but I used to always think, man, I gotta have all this energy to talk to all these people, and I don't know this person, and I gotta do this. Anyway, I started putting this whole story of how the party was gonna go in my mind. By the time I got there, everything was absolutely fine. I was having fun, I was talking to people, and it wasn't even that big of a deal. I just allowed my thoughts to create this vision of what I thought was gonna happen. But it's never as bad. I mean, is it exactly like awesome? Not all the time, but it's nowhere near what I made it out to be in my own mind. So the fear starts to go away. The confidence starts to pick up. And the next thing you know, you're going into situations, maybe difficult meetings, conversations that you have to have with friends or family, and you're going into it with a lot more peace. You feel a lot more calm because you're trusting God to know that He's got your back. And there's nothing like that. That is the most powerful thing that you can ever have, and that involves faith. And if you have faith, anything is possible. Seasons are important to go through. Seasons are vital. We're never going to be the same person, but what takes place in that season and how we react to the different scenarios and different things that are going on during our shift in energy into each season that we deal with in life has a lot to do with what the outcome is going to be. And the Bible says a ton about this. As a matter of fact, the Byrds wrote a whole song based on Ecclesiastes 3 that we all know very, very well. To every season, turn. Let's see. Ecclesiastes 3:1. For everything there is a season and a time for every matter under heaven. The birds nailed it. A time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, and a time to pluck up what is planted, a time to kill, a time to heal, a time to break down, a time to build up, a time to weep, and a time to laugh, a time to mourn, a time to dance. You guys get the idea. I mean, it's all in here. There's a song written about it straight from the Bible. These seasons are extremely important in our lives, but how we handle each season and our own need for control, the outcomes are going to be completely different. And if you go into it thinking that you know the plan and you want the control of whatever that outcome's supposed to be, and you allow your ego to carry you through the journey toward that end result, you are not going to have the season that is going to be life altering in the positive way. You're going to have the season that is going to lead to you having to deal with something where it's probably going to be a life lesson that you wish you did not have to go through. So have faith and go into the season with faith. Go into the season with the relinquishedness of the control. Allow God to guide you and allow God to plant the breadcrumbs along the journey. And as you pick up those breadcrumbs, you're going to gain the skill set, the knowledge, the faith, everything you need to become the person you need to be in order to get to that next step at the end of that season and transfer yourself into a new season, which is how you get closer to the life of your dreams that you've been trying to create all this time. Use this information to help you identify the different steps and the different levels to know that your energy is shifting. You are following yourself into a new part of your life. You want to be the right person that ends up in that season. You don't want to be the wrong person. So guys, have faith and take the proper steps to become the person you need to be to have the life of your dreams.